First Amendment. In its entirety, it reads, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So there are 5 freedoms guaranteed by the First Amendment. In the order that they're mentioned is worship, speech, press, assembly, as we're doing here today, and then petition for redress of grievances, petition for a remedy of grievances. Everyone by now is familiar with the first 4 of those freedoms. They're familiar with the rights of the people and the obligations of the government under the first 4 freedoms. They have been the subject matter of lots and lots of lawsuits. Brought all the way to the Supreme Court. Lots of people have chimed in, and so by now we pretty much know the full contours of the meaning of those first 4 freedoms. Unfortunately, the last of those 5 freedoms, the right to petition for redress or remedy of grievances, especially violations of the Constitution, no court in the entire history of America has ever declared what those are. What is the rights of the people and the obligations of the government under those last 10 words. It is those 10 words of the accountability clause. There are benches over here, or steps, if someone would like to sit. And chairs. Set some chairs up right here. Get a couple of hands to set some chairs up. So over here. I have to apologize, by the way. I'm from upstate New York, and I don't have a Texas wardrobe yet. So what we do up there. These last 10 words, what do they really mean? Where do they come from? What role did those, the right to petition for redress play in the founding of the country, and what should it play? What meaning should we be given to it today? So we'll talk about the right to petition. Next slide. You can't read this, but the first recorded mention of the right to petition, what it means, you find in the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta was signed in 1215. Remember, back then, the monarchy had absolute power. The king and queen, I mean, they could do whatever they wanted. You couldn't sue them. Absolute power. They were considered representatives of God, on earth and so forth. Could do no wrong. And so it's a pretty historic, significant thing. The Magna Carta is the cradle of liberty. Everything evolved, since then. And to give you some idea of the meaning of the right to petition, we find section 61 of the Magna Carta. It reads, and the king signed this document. I mean, this is signed. Of course, he was confronted with some of the barons, and of course some of the community, people in the community. They had their pitchforks and so forth. And so there was sort of a, a little threat behind all of this. But the fact of the matter is the king did sign it. And it says in section 61, if we, our Chief Justice, we meaning the monarchy, being the queen, or our Chief Justice, our officials, or any of our servants offend in any respect against any man, or transgress any of the articles of the peace or of this security, and the offense is made known to 4 of the said 25 barons, they shall come to us, or in our absence from the kingdom to the Chief Justice, to declare and claim immediate redress. So the people, if they feel their rights are being violated, they can petition the monarchy. If we, or in our absence abroad, the Chief Justice, makes no redress within 40 days reckoning from the day on which the offense was declared to us, or him, the Chief Justice, the 4 barons shall refer the matter to the rest of the 25 barons, who may distrain upon and assail us in every way possible, with the support of the whole community or of the land, by seizing our castles, lands, possessions, or anything else saving only our own person, and those of the Queen and our children until they have secured such redress as they have determined upon. Having secured redress, they may then resume their normal obedience to us. Pretty significant. Here you have the monarchy saying if the people have some right that feel we're infringing on their natural rights, bring your petitions to us. We have 40 days to respond. If we don't, you have the legal right to take everything we own, our lands, our castles, everything except my life, the life of the Queen, and the life of our children, and the life of the Chief Justice. And then once you've secured your remedy, then you are obligated to restore your allegiance to us. Pretty significant. What do you think? Next slide. So we have and following that day, the right to petition grew and grew and was applied and followed, and give you a little story. At around 1650, the king had leanings towards Rome, Catholicism, and so he thought he'd do a pretty cool thing. He issued a proclamation, and he said the people of the kingdom have the right to worship any way they want to worship, and I would like this proclamation read from every pulpit in England on this particular day. And there were bishops, cardinal, that thought, well, gee, wait a minute, there's a problem with this. If we go along with this, we will be admitting that this right to worship comes from the king rather than from God. So they sent a contingent of 6 bishops to talk to the king about this. And the king heard they were coming, and he was delighted. Until they got there, and they told him what was on their mind. And he immediately put them in the dungeon. And it was a trial. And they obtained the services of a barrister. And the barrister argued, among other things, that they were just petitioning the king for redress of his grievance. And the jury acquitted them. So the right to petition the government for a remedy to grievances grew and grew and found its way to our shores, and was very much a part of our founding documents and very much a part of our system of government here for many years. Up until around 1830, if you had a grievance against your government, whether it's county, state, or federal, say you submit your petition for redress to your congressman until around 1830, your petition for a redress of a grievance always went to a committee. Federal in Congress, every Monday was the day they dealt with petitions for redress of grievances. And you always got an answer. Care of that with Connecticut. And so what happened in 1830 to begin to change all this? The Southern congressmen prevailed. They had it, with these petitions for redress from abolitionists to end the practice of slavery. And so they prevailed, and they got a rule passed in the House that any more of these petitions from abolitionists would be permanently tabled. First time government on these shores ever went on record saying we don't have to listen on the spot to people. And it's sort of been, sort of downhill. This right to petition it took John Quincy Adams 8 years to get that rule repealed, but the damage, of course, had been done. So now we fast forward to 1774. Again, the founders, the 13 colonies sent some representatives off to Philadelphia to talk about their grievances and what they could do about it. And while they were in session, the Continental Congress, in session, one of the acts they passed unanimously was an act entitled Continental Congress to the Inhabitants of Quebec. It was an act to be sent up there to encourage them to get behind this developing revolution in our country. And if we can, well, it's an 8-page act, and in this 8-page act, which on that little, you don't have to click on it, Hank, but this little PDF symbol down here, if you click on there, when you go to the website, click on there, you'll get the full text of the 8-page